When you think of a global financial center, what comes to mind? New York's Wall Street, maybe Tokyo's financial district, or the towering banks of Hong Kong. But what if I told you there's another financial capital? One that operates in the shadows, wielding more power than all of them combined? And the craziest part is, most people have never even heard of it. It's called the City of London, but it's not the London you know. It's not Big Ben or Buckingham Palace. It's a tiny, 1 square mile sovereign territory, nestled inside Greater London, with its own laws, its own police force, and it answers to no government on Earth. This ancient district controls more global capital than anywhere else on the planet. It processes 40% of the world's foreign exchange transactions and manages trillions in offshore wealth through a vast network of tax havens. The level of secrecy here makes Swiss banks look transparent. The City of London isn't just a place with banks, it is the bank. It's the spider at the center of a web connecting every tax haven, every offshore account, and every hidden financial transaction in the modern world. When the super rich want to hide their money, when corporations want to dodge taxes, when governments need to move funds secretly, they all turn to the ancient streets of this medieval financial fortress. But here's the secret nobody tells you. The City of London is the last remnant of the British Empire, an empire that never really ended. While Britain gave up its political colonies, it cleverly transformed them into financial colonies, creating a shadow empire of money more powerful than any army. The city's unique status dates back over 1,000 years. In 1066, when William the Conqueror invaded England, he struck a deal with London's powerful merchants. They would accept his rule, and in return, they would keep their ancient privileges and self-governance. This created something unprecedented, a sovereign city-state inside another country. The City of London Corporation, its governing body, is older than Parliament itself and operates under laws that predate modern democracy by centuries. Today, this medieval governance structure remains. The city is ruled by the Lord Mayor of London, not to be confused with the Mayor of London who governs the rest of the city. The Lord Mayor is elected by ancient guilds called livery companies, some dating back to the 1100s. Originally for trades like goldsmiths, they now function as exclusive clubs for the financial elite. The city even has its own police force, separate from the one serving the rest of London. Think about this. When the Queen visited the city, she had to stop at its border and formally ask permission to enter. This ancient protocol shows just how independent the city is from the British Crown. And this isn't just a historical quirk. The city's sovereign status allows it to operate financial services under its own rules, free from the regulations that bind other financial centers. It's a medieval constitution running a modern financial empire. The City of London's real power, however, comes from its control over a global network of offshore financial centers. Economists call it the spider's web of international tax avoidance. This web has 3 rings. The inner ring includes the UK Crown dependencies, Jersey, Guernsey, and the Isle of Man. They aren't part of the UK, but are protected by the Crown, offering banking secrecy and minimal taxes. The middle ring contains British overseas territories like the Cayman Islands and the British Virgin Islands. They are technically British, but govern themselves, allowing for extreme financial secrecy while benefiting from British legal protection. The outer ring is made up of former British colonies like Hong Kong and Singapore, which maintain close financial ties to London. This network wasn't an accident. As Britain decolonized in the 1960s, it deliberately converted political control into financial control, creating a web of secrecy jurisdictions that funnel money right through the City of London. The layers of secrecy are what make it so powerful. Money can flow through multiple jurisdictions, obscuring its origin and owner. A typical setup might involve a company in the Cayman Islands, owned by a trust in Jersey, managed by administrators in Guernsey, all coordinated by professional firms in London. It's a maze designed to make tracing money nearly impossible. The scale is staggering. It's estimated that over $8 trillion in private wealth is held offshore, and much of it flows through London's network. The Cayman Islands alone hosts more hedge fund assets than any other jurisdiction, while the British Virgin Islands is home to over 40% of the world's offshore companies. This isn't just for individuals. Multinational corporations use the same network to shift profits and avoid taxes on a massive scale. One of the city's most brilliant innovations was the creation of the Eurodollar market. This system allows banks to trade US dollars outside of US jurisdiction. It started in the 1950s when Soviet banks, fearing the US would seize their assets during the Cold War, deposited their dollars in London. British banks quickly realized they could lend these dollars without being subject to American banking regulations. This was a game changer. London banks could offer better interest rates, and the market exploded. It allows London to profit from America's reserve currency status without being subject to American control. The city maintains its dominance through something called regulatory capture, influencing government policies to serve its own interests. And this isn't back alley corruption, it's institutionalized. The City of London Corporation spends millions on lobbying. Former government ministers join city firms and former bankers become government advisors, creating a culture where London's financial interests are seen as the national interest. Lavish dinners and events are held where financial and political elites coordinate policy away from public view. Brexit presented a strange paradox. Leaving the EU reduced direct access to European markets, but it also freed the city from EU regulations that were starting to pinch. In some ways, Brexit unshackled the city to compete even more aggressively for global business. But there's a darker side to all this. The same secrecy that helps corporations avoid taxes also enables criminals and corrupt officials to launder stolen money. Investigations have revealed that hundreds of billions in suspect Russian funds have flowed through London. The PAO, the London laundromat scandal, showed how $20 billion in criminal funds from former Soviet states passed through British banks, using shell companies registered right in the UK. The city has also adapted to the digital age, becoming a major hub for fintech and cryptocurrency, often with less regulation than other centers. The UK government is actively promoting London as a crypto-friendly hub, positioning it to influence the next generation of money. Even global climate finance runs through London. Despite public commitments to green energy, London remains one of the largest financiers of fossil fuels. The same banks marketing green bonds are also funding oil and gas expansion, profiting from both sides of the climate crisis. The City of London's power faces challenges, from digital currencies to international pressure for tax transparency. But it has proven remarkably resilient, constantly innovating new financial structures faster than regulators can keep up. It represents a medieval city-state that has evolved into the command center of global finance. Its power is invisible because it operates through complex legal structures and professional networks. The irony is that the most modern aspect of our global economy, the financial system, is controlled by one of its most ancient institutions. The City of London is the secret empire hiding in plain sight, controlling the flows of money that shape our world. The real question is not whether this power will continue, but whether the rest of the world will finally recognize what's happening and decide to act. Thanks for watching. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the systems that run our world. See you in the next one.